Some devastating news, I would say, but I don't think it was unexpected given the time period of the season. Caitlin Clark announced on her social media that she will miss the rest of the season. She captioned it in short, in part. I had hoped to share a better update, but I will not be returning to play this season. I spent hours in the gym every day with a singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling. She was limited to 13 games this season.
Okay, this is wild. Candace Parker just dropped a bomb that no one saw coming. The WNBA absolutely did not want to hear that Caitlin Clark would be sidelined for the entire year. That's not just a hit to Indiana, it's a gut punch to the entire league. And here's the kicker. The whispers, the real whispers about Clark possibly walking away from the WNBA for good, are getting louder by the day. The league thought they had all the time in the world to figure it out, right? Wrong. The real question they should be terrified of: if Caitlin Clark quit the WNBA tomorrow, what even happens next? Because let's face it, this is a mess. A huge mess. One the WNBA can no longer sweep under the rug. Caitlin Clark, only in her second year as a pro, now officially done for the season with nagging groin and leg issues. You can hear it in her voice, even through all her carefully crafted statements. She's frustrated. She's deeply disappointed. But fans, we're all reading between those lines, aren't we? This isn't just about a lost season. It's about the crushing weight, the immense pressure, and honestly, the WNBA's shocking failure to protect its brightest star.
How I am feeling. She was limited to 13 games this season, and she hasn't played since July 15th when she suffered a right groin injury in the final minute of the Fever's win versus the Sun right before the All-Star game.
I mean, that's our girl. That's our girl. And I feel like no matter what happened, you have to protect you and you have to protect your career. There's no reason to force anything. And I feel like her just kind of having that approach of doing what's best for her is all we can ask for, because we'd rather Caitlin sit out and then come back next season and we're ready to roll and we're ready to rock. And so we've just been supporting her and she's been supporting us. She's always there. We're getting to watch film and she's in there walking through saying, hey, and we're like, get out, go do what you need to do. But I mean, she's still the same. And I feel like our approach, because we've been missing her for so long, is just to come in and compete. And we have a good rhythm, I think, with everyone that's came in. And so just keeping that as our main focus.
And speaking of protection, Candace Parker, a legend who knows all about fighting through injuries, just stepped forward and basically confirmed, yeah, Clark did exactly the right thing by shutting it down. And honestly, Parker is right on point. She even shared that late in her own career, she pushed her body far too hard, ignoring the warning signs, and that mistake cost her dearly. So she told Clark directly with all her authority, don't make the same mistake. Don't let playoff pressure from the league rush you back. Respect your body. Your long-term future matters more. That's the real talk, right there.
Well, Coach Steph White had said that they were hopeful that Clark would return by the end of the regular season, but Caitlin was unable to fully reincorporate back into practice. And, she had never missed a game in her collegiate career or first year in the WNBA. So this is definitely a blow, I'm sure, for the organization, but also for her. Fever went 8-5 when Clark played and 15-15 without her. You all did win the Commissioner's Cup for the first time in franchise history without her. So maybe that is also another precursor. But big picture from the outside looking in, I have been a player that has had a number of injuries, and I think later in my career especially, some of those injuries.
But here's the kicker, folks. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark's body. This is really about the entire future of the WNBA. Let's be honest, the league has leaned on Clark like a crutch, and it's not even subtle. Every single metric, attendance, TV ratings, jersey sales, absolutely soared because of her. The WNBA finally got its first real taste of legitimate relevance. And it all came from one player. Just one. Now that player is stuck at home, posting injury updates, while the league scrambles. So we have to ask the obvious, terrifying question, what happens if Caitlin Clark says, you know what, I'm done? What if she decides her body, her career, her future matter far more than dragging a half-broken leg across WNBA hardwood for a league that, let's be real, can't even protect her from flagrant fouls every single game? The instant regret for the WNBA would be nuclear. See, fans didn't start showing up this season because they suddenly cared about the WNBA brand. They showed up for Clark. They wanted her logo on their shirts. They craved her highlights on their phones. They wanted her to break records and dominate the internet. Take Clark out of that equation. And just like that, you're right back to empty seats and grainy streams no one watches.
And taking the time. And there is a difference in being a role player and coming in and playing a role and coming in off of an injury. There is a rhythm. But when you are Caitlin Clark and you have the ball in your hands and you are on the other team's scouting report, to come in half and not be able to be in that amount of, I would say, shape, rhythm of the game, because the rhythm of the game changes towards the end of the year. And so when it started getting closer to the end of the regular season, I was like, it's dangerous to come back during playoff basketball because the whole flow, the physicality, all of that is different. And so I know it's difficult to kind of take time and understand the big picture, especially when you're living with tunnel vision and you've worked so hard to get to where you're at, but it's the smart thing. And I'm proud of this generation for taking the time they need, looking at the bigger picture, and making sure that they get healthy. So, Caitlin Clark, hope you feel better. You have a great off season and you come back.
And let's be completely honest here. The WNBA already flirted with disaster by failing to protect her on the court. I mean, every game she faced defenders body checking her like it was a hockey match. Elbows, shoves, trash talk crossing every line. The refs, blind as usual. The league, silent as usual. They all just pretended it was part of the game. But now their golden ticket, the literal goose that laid the golden eggs, is sitting in sweats on the sideline as playoff basketball kicks off. Bravo, WNBA. Well done, Candace Parker. She sees the bigger picture. She actually said it. Playoff basketball is more physical, faster, nastier. Absolutely not the time to bring a star back from injury. You don't bring a Ferrari to a demolition derby, right? But the WNBA, oh, they wanted her back. They wanted her rushing shots, limping up and down the court, anything to just juice their numbers. And that, my friends, is exactly where instant regret kicks in, because Caitlin Clark sees right through it. She knows she doesn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needs her. She could walk away tomorrow, jump into broadcasting, sponsorships, international basketball, even build her own brand. And she'd be fine. The league? Dead weight. Let's not sugarcoat it. The WNBA is essentially a charity case propped up by the NBA. They've tried to grow the game for decades. And the biggest, most explosive growth spurt came when Clark arrived. This second-year pro, just 2 years in, is carrying them harder than any commissioner's speech or marketing campaign ever did. That's why this quit the league talk feels more real than most want to admit. Fans are already testing it. You've seen it online. People saying, if Clark's not playing, I'm not watching. That's not loyalty to the league. That's fierce loyalty to her. And if she walks away, those fans walk away too. That's instant regret. Now, Candace Parker's message deserves massive credit. She isn't just talking to Clark. She's speaking directly to the WNBA. She's saying, plain and simple, respect your players. Stop forcing them into roles that wreck their bodies. Stop pushing them back too soon. Because here's the thing you need to understand. Clark isn't a role player. She's not someone you sub in for 10 minutes. She is the one, the name on every scouting report. If she's not 100%, she shouldn't be on the court at all. And Parker basically said, good job, Clark, for seeing that truth. But wait, there's a twist. This isn't just about health. This is about heart. Clark has given everything to the game. Even during injury rehab, she spent hours in the gym every single day, grinding relentlessly to get back. The disappointment in her words was clear, palpable. But then she thanked the fans. Notice who she didn't thank. The league, the refs, the leadership. Nope. Just the fans and her team. That, my friends, says it all. Fans kept showing up. The league didn't. And that's exactly why the doors cracked wide open for the whole Clark quits talk. She's already learned she can't rely on the WNBA to protect her. So why keep playing a rigged game? And if you connect the dots, the WNBA's rivals would be drooling if Clark walked. Imagine her in Europe, tax-free, fewer games, actual calls from referees. Or bigger, focusing outside basketball entirely. Media deals, massive endorsements, nil-style ventures for future players. She could build a career bigger than the WNBA itself. And the league left with nothing but regret. Now, let's rewind. Clark's story doesn't exist in a vacuum. The league has struggled with stars before. Angel Reese made headlines, sometimes for the wrong reasons. Players complained about travel, salaries, facilities. The WNBA has always been almost there, never fully there. Then Clark arrived. Fans flooded in. Suddenly, everyone pretended the problems vanished. Guess what? They didn't. Clark's injury ripped the curtain down again. Candace Parker's generation went through the same. She admitted it, ignoring injuries, pushing her body past the limit, all for a league that didn't give enough back. She's warning Clark, don't repeat history. And the fact Parker, retired, respected, beloved, has to spell this out tells you the league hasn't learned a thing. The funniest part? The WNBA will probably release some polished PR about player safety or supporting Caitlyn's recovery. Spare us. Fans saw the brutal hits. Fans saw refs swallow whistles. Fans saw the league cash checks while Clark limped off. No statement fixes that. So yes, the idea of Clark quitting isn't far-fetched. It's real. And if it happens, instant regret hits the WNBA like a wrecking ball. Merch sales, packed arenas, trending clips, gone. Back to irrelevant. Back to begging ESPN for 30 seconds of coverage between golf highlights. And maybe, just maybe, that's what it would take for the league to finally wake up. But the track record honestly says otherwise. Think about it. This isn't the first time they've leaned too heavily on one star. Back when Diana Taurasi dominated, they leaned on her. Same with Parker. Same with Maya Moore. And now it's Clark. But the problem? Clark isn't just another star. She's the one who brought millions of new eyes to the game. You can't afford to lose her, but they might. And the cracks are showing big time. Clark's social media post was polite, sure, but underneath every word was a simmering frustration. She said she was disappointed not to return this season. Disappointed is an understatement. For a competitor like Clark, it felt like betrayal. She did her part. She put in the work. She gave the league the best storyline they've ever had. And what did she get? Cheap shots, no calls, and now a wasted season. And remember, this isn't year one. She's not a rookie. This is year two, the point where hype should have solidified into dominance, headlining every playoff highlight reel. Instead, she's sidelined, and the WNBA is left with a giant "uh-oh" painted across the entire season. So let's spell it out. Caitlin Clark quitting would mean ratings collapse, empty arenas, angry sponsors, and a league scrambling to explain how they let the biggest draw in women's basketball walk away. That, my friends, is instant regret. And the only way to stop it is to finally treat Clark like the superstar she truly is, not just in marketing, but on the court, in the rules, in officiating, and in genuinely supporting her career. Here's the core problem. The WNBA has never been good at protecting stars. They've been great at exploiting them, visibility, sponsorships, ticket sales. But when it comes to protecting their bodies, health, or reputations, always a step behind. And Clark is learning that harsh truth faster than most. Candace Parker practically begged her to think long-term. She said playoff basketball is too dangerous, too physical, the pace too high, the risk too big. She even said she was proud Clark didn't rush back. That's a huge compliment, but also a warning, because Clark had every reason to try. The pressure, the hype, the spotlight. Yet she chose herself over the league. That decision alone shows she sees the bigger picture. And the fans, the same ones who packed arenas for Clark, are now questioning if they should even tune in. If she's not there, why bother? That's the dangerous sentence the WNBA doesn't want to hear. But it echoes louder every day she's out. This isn't an Angel Reese story where controversy sells for days. Not a one-off headline about travel or charter flights. This is the WNBA's crown jewel sitting on the bench while Candace Parker says, "Yeah, it's better this way." That's not just news, it's a full-blown crisis. The league faces a stark choice. Either they step up, protect their investment, protect their star, and show they can actually manage success, or they watch Caitlin Clark walk away, taking their entire future with her. Because here's the thing, Clark isn't dumb. She knows her worth. She knows she's bigger than the league. And once a player truly realizes they don't need the league as much as the league needs them, the balance of power shifts dramatically. And the WNBA is not ready for that. Because let's be honest, when Parker retired, it was a blow. When Sue Bird retired, it was a blow. But life went on. With Clark, you don't recover from that. You don't just move on. You collapse. So, here's the big sarcastic bow to wrap this up. Congratulations, WNBA. You begged for a superstar. You finally got one. And then you let her get hacked, bruised, and broken until she's sitting out the playoffs. And now you're staring down the nightmare scenario. What if she doesn't come back at all? Spoiler alert, you regret it instantly. So here's the ultimate bottom line. Caitlin Clark's injury shut the WNBA up, but her quitting would shut it down. And if the league doesn't take her health and values seriously, that day might come sooner than they think. So what do you think? Could Clark actually walk away for good? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Smash that like button and subscribe for more real,